Here we go.
The Infiltrator is directed by Robert Furman, who has directed movies like Runner Runner and The Lincoln Lawyer, and he has returned to tell the story of Robert Mauser. Robert Mauser's job is to infiltrate these various crime lords' inner circle in order to stop the flow of cocaine into the US during the mid-1980s. Now, I was actually kind of looking forward to this movie. I actually enjoy this director. Runner Runner is a decent movie with an actually really solid performance by Ben Affleck, but what stands out in his rather small filmography is The Lincoln Lawyer. The Lincoln Lawyer is a very surprising film that kind of made Hollywood say, hey, this Matthew McConaughey guy actually knows what he's doing. He actually has acting chops. But the one thing that got me excited for this movie above everything else was Bryan Cranston. Now, I don't watch a lot of TV, and I especially don't watch TV shows in their entirety, one of those rare cases being Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is my favorite TV show of all time by, like, a lot. And a majority of what makes that show so great is Bryan Cranston, and he is just utterly fantastic as Walter White. So because I'm a fan of Breaking Bad, anything he puts his name on, I'm pretty excited for. And also keep in mind, the last movie he was in, he got an Oscar nomination. Granted that movie was a little, but Cranston was fantastic in it. Which I could say the exact same thing about this movie. Bryan Cranston gives a stellar performance in this film, and he is easily the best part of this movie. He gives a very compelling performance of this character who gets in too deep with the wrong people. And he kind of starts to feel guilty for what he's doing to these people because he starts to get to know them. And he knows their family, and he knows how bad it'll hurt them when he turns on them. And to be honest, Bryan Cranston isn't the only person who gives a good performance. Everyone, as a whole, a collective whole, is very solid. There really wasn't that one actor where I was like, what are you doing in this movie? Who casted him? And because everyone actually seems like they care and seems like they're wanting to give it their all, that makes this film as good as it is. Another reason this film is as good as it is because it's very intense at times. There are several scenes, like most undercover cop movies, where you are asking yourself if they're going to get caught or not. For example, there's a scene in this film where our character portrayed by Bryan Cranston, he is out to dinner with his wife. And it's for their anniversaries and at this nice restaurant, and they order a cake. And the cake comes out, but as the cake comes out, one of the people that Bryan Cranston is kind of snitching on comes out and is like, hey buddy, what's going on? So as the scene plays out, Bryan Cranston has to come up with a story of who this woman is and why this cake says happy anniversary. It's really intense stuff, and it was by far my favorite scene in this movie. As far as negatives go, I think this movie was a little long in the tooth, which is weird because when you leave the movie, you're like, wow, that was kind of long. And then you look at your phone and you're like, that was just a little over 2 hours. And I think because this film seems a lot longer than it is, I'd pin it down to pacing. Like I said, this film is very suspenseful at times, but it kind of has a hard time seizing that tone throughout the entire film. There are only a handful of scenes where you feel like our character is in any actual danger. And a part of that is because he kind of becomes friends with these people, and you're like, they're not going to do anything to him. They're like best friends. And I feel like the story expounded on things that didn't really need expounded upon. I also felt like a lot of times I wasn't quite sure what was happening. Some of the times the characters' actions didn't feel quite understood, and I didn't know why they were doing certain things that they were doing. It was kind of hard for me to follow it, but maybe if I watched it a second time I'd be able to grasp it more. But on the first watch, I was a little lost at certain parts. But overall, I enjoyed this movie, and my advice to you is if you like these undercover cop movies, I'll probably check it out once it comes on DVD or Blu-ray. Now, if you did go see this movie and you really liked it and you're really invested in the characters, I would check out this movie. The Departed is one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's about an undercover cop. So if you like this film, check out The Departed because it's better in every single way imaginable. Thank you guys for watching today. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, click on the link down below and subscribe to my channel to see more movie reviews and movie-related things. And guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.